What is up YouTube, it's your boy SmackNPie. Apologies for being late for part 2 of our Q&A recap series. This time we're going to talk about two things. Number one, the holiday horror, aka the Puppet King level, but also the new power has finally been revealed. You gotta see this. Well, not see this, you gotta hear and listen to it. Without wasting my time, let us jump into it. So first thing we're going to talk about are the enemies of the freaking holiday horror Puppet King level, and that is them, well, mannequins, aka stalkers, specifically red stalkers. We learned a little bit about them. It has been revealed that they are connected to the Puppet King, so like there are multiple of them. There are male and female version, so we have seen that already. It was revealed, but Vince said that there are other types of the freaking red stalkers. He said there are specifically 5 types of red stalkers. He cannot reveal them because other types are connected to the level, the way the level is designed and how it is played. The red stalkers are made that way, they are connected to that, and well, revealing them now would ruin the surprise of actually playing the level, and that's all we got on the red stalkers. Red stalkers, we're going to talk a little more about them in just a second, but let's go to the Puppet King. Puppet King, ladies and gentlemen, his face has now been replaced. Well, not replaced, has been added, and the mannequin's face has been, replaced. So Puppet King face will replace the mannequins on the main menu that we see with the menus and whatnot, but also on the portal icon in the ballroom, as well as the sub-menus from the replay section as well. That is also going to be the case for Super Dark Deception as well, so glad that's happening. The third thing I want to talk about, and that has been like reconfirmed because we talked about this and you guys were really surprised by this news, and that is there will be more mannequins on the screen than there were trigger teddies. We're only talking about on the screen. And he also revealed that Puppet King can spawn them at will. So if you kill 10 of them, he can spawn 20. If you kill 20, he can spawn 40. And why did I mention this? We're going to come back to it in just a second because the power is connected to this. And yes, I don't know how many times we have to say this, because some of you guys think I'm just yapping out of my butt. There are 6 endings. Again, so we learned so much about the ending. There will be a separate video on the endings specifically. But let's go back to the red stalkers, right? So it has been revealed that red stalkers rely on senses. What kind of senses? Senses other than sight. So yes, they don't see it, but they use other senses to move around and do their things, and they do it in a unique way. But let's talk, since we are here, let's talk about what would happen if we put Puppet King against Dark Star. Who would win? Ladies and gentlemen, it has been revealed that if you put both of them together, they would cause a lot of damage. Their powers will electrify wherever arena they're fighting in. It'll cause a lot of damage. It will be litty. The action will be litty. It's gonna make for a great back and forth in terms of dialogue, in terms of action. But nobody would win and nobody would lose. It would be a stalemate. I would pay to see that fight, listen. I would not pay more than that, just a little bit, but I would love to see a fight animated between them. Oh man, imagine if an enemy of Dark Deception is confirmed, or let's say in a live action. I would love to see Puppet King versus Dark Star. Then fan asked which AI was the difficult one. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been revealed that Puppet King AI was the difficult to develop. Why? It's because of the red stalkers and the fixes that the Puppet King AI needed. Oh yeah, bro, this is gonna be litty. And this is exactly the reason why Vincent Livings, the creator of Dark Deception, is excited for people to well, he's excited to see people play the first level of Chapter 5, aka Holiday Horror, because Chapter 1 to 4, the Enhanced Plus edition that is coming, it's gonna give us a little bit of hint to that. That level, the Holiday Horror, will give them the impression of how humongous this Chapter 5 is. It's actually a new game in and of itself. He did reveal that in terms of like grandeur moments, right? For Fear Fortress, that level has biggest moments, it is more complex, but he's excited to see the Holiday Horror level, like people playing Holiday Horror, because it's the first level. People will be so shocked to see the way it plays gameplay wise, visually. I'll be here playing it day one when it drops. Now let's talk about the power, because that is important. Okay, first things first, people are asking, hey, is the new power mind control? No, the new power is not mind control. However, we obtain a new power from Puppet King. Yes, once we defeat him, we obtain a new power from him. What is that power, ladies and gentlemen? Is it a lure power? Is it the cloning power? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Vince said he doesn't get invincibility. It is not that one of the powers. So mind control is not a power. Invincibility is not a power because you can't get invincibility. Invincibility, not invisibility, because we already have that, right? Invincibility from Nightmare Realm, you can't. However, he does reveal it after a little bit persistence and insistence. One of the powers is to create a puppet. That is the power you get from Puppet King. And let me explain this a little bit. You get to create a puppet. But why? Why would you create a puppet? Well, the reason for creating this puppet is to distract the enemy. Okay, let's recap, let's dial it back. We are in the Holiday Horror level, and this level is known for a lot of enemies, specifically mannequins, red stalkers. There are white mannequins as well. We're gonna come to them in just a second, well, literally after this, but distracting the enemy by creating a puppet? That is new. Before we continue with this, some people would be confused. Smack, wasn't DD capped at max 6 powers? How are we getting more powers? Wasn't that confirmed? It was confirmed to be 6 powers only, but now that was changed. And now every stage with a ring piece will give you a power. People will say, hold on a second, that makes no sense. Barry didn't give us a power. You're right, because it took the powers away from us and we had to get it back, so technically it did give you a power. Now let's talk about white mannequins. See, red stalkers are enemies, right? It has been confirmed that white mannequins are traps, but not all of them. Do whatever you want with that information. Now let's go back one final time to red stalkers. It has been confirmed that the red stalkers were designed first. They were the first things to be designed for Chapter 5 for mannequins, right? Whatever. And they were primary. They're like animals, no intelligence. They are reactionary, purely instinctive. That's why they share this hive mind or whatever with Puppet King. And then, through their designs, they went to redesign, and out came Puppet King. Pointy stuff. That's when we got Puppet King. That's why the portals and menus only have mannequins, because Puppet King came in late. And finally, some story. Puppet King specifically. We talked about Puppet King ego, we talked about Darkstar ego. Doesn't Malik know about them? Wouldn't that worry him? Of course he knows. Malik knows all about his employees, not to mention he knows about their egos and how to control them, specifically and especially Puppet King's discontent. Yep, he's a king, but without a crown. That demon devil, Malik, is controlling it all, and that's where all this comes into play. So, more into this in some future videos about how all this plays into Malik and Chapter 5 story. But for now, this is all we got for Puppet King and Holiday Horror level. Next video is gonna be Prison Panic and Darkstar. I know y'all waiting for this one. After this, 6 more videos to go. Susu filmer.